Does the British Rule of Yoga want to regulate yoga?
No, it doesn't. We don't have any regulatory powers, and we don't seek any. Yoga is an unregulated profession, and we think it's best that it stays that way. All we try to do as the British Rule of Yoga is model good practice, and we promote standards of yoga teacher training, but that isn't regulation.
What does governing body actually mean?
Well, British Rule of Yoga was appointed by Sport England as the governing body for yoga in England, and that role comes with no powers whatsoever. So again, what we are trying to do is set our own high standard and try to model good practice in the sector. So our qualifications are regulated by Ofqual and are at foundation degree level, level 4, and it's because of that governing body role that we also support the Skills Active initiative to establish National Occupational Standards. So Skills Active is nothing to do with the British Rule of Yoga. It's a sector skills council. It covers the yoga area, and they wish to develop National Occupational Standards across the whole range of the areas that they look after, including yoga. So they're developing the standards. We support the process. We are paying some of the costs of that process in order that the National Occupational Standards can be created a bit more quickly than they otherwise would.
Critics say you need to prove that students get injured under the current arrangements.
Well, that's the wrong way around really, because if you're going to teach yoga, you have a duty of care towards the students, and also it's up to the teacher to undertake a risk management process. So if you are teaching students and you don't have the skills to modify postures for a range of common ailments like high blood pressure and joint problems, then you would be putting those students at risk. So really it's up to the people who say that we don't need the minimum standards of skills, competence and knowledge for yoga teachers to prove that people are not being injured under the current system. And anecdotal evidence is that people are being injured, and that the National Occupational Standards would help perhaps a little bit to set a minimum quality threshold which would protect students going forwards.